Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wandering Village, where it seems that our wonderful Onbu Nu has just woken up from her sleep. Look at her! Oh my gosh. All right, so she is actually pretty well fed. She's getting a little bit poisoned from just the ambient air, and she's actually at 20%. So I do think that the shrine keepers who watch over our precious Ambu and tried their best to understand her biology and to really keep her very healthy actually would want to go ahead and craft an antidote for her at this time. So let's go ahead and start working on an antidote so that they can try to heal her up. 20% sick when you happen to be an entire mountain range unto yourself has to be actually really sick. So I'm hoping this will actually make her feel better. And actually, when we feed her, let's see, that does 20% hunger. Oh, so we need to feed her as well. But first things first, we'll make her feel better because of all the toxins in the air, and then we will go ahead and feed her as well. All right. So, last time we left ourselves still wandering the Roulette Desert, the desert that was once famous for having a bunch of rolling armadillos that would travel through it. Something I really love adding to our lore. I need to make like a tiny little Google document so we can keep track of the lore of this particular village and this particular Onbu. But we are still here. We are still just wandering this gigantic desert, and I'm getting a little nervous about that. The elders are also starting to get slightly nervous. Let's send a party out to that spot. But the elders are also starting to get a little nervous. However, what are we about to scavenge from this shrine? I actually have been meaning to name these things after you guys more often. So let me pull up. Oh, yes. Okay, so we brought back one knowledge, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to have that golden clover. Oh, I love that. So golden clover, that was going to be the golden clover shrine. And Clover, thank you very much for your kind comments on our previous Wandering Village videos. I'm really excited that we have actually gone forth and we have collected some knowledge from you. And I'm going to say that the golden clover shrine, lost in one of the few remaining fertile lands of the world, I suppose, actually gave us a little bit towards our scout tower, maybe taught us a little bit more about the lands that we are in. And we actually need to do a little bit more research about our Onbu. I like the idea that all of the Onbu research is kind of a mix of biology and religion, which, now that I think about it, that actually sounds quite fascinating. I could totally make a religion based around biology for a fantasy series. That would be very cool. But I like the idea that their religion is now deeply tied to the Onbu itself, and perhaps the Shrine Keepers are telling us that before we consider ourselves a truly proper village, and before we consider ourselves kind of finished with the first arc or season of what's happening with Kotori Village and our Onbu Nu, we should make sure that we know everything we can and research this sacred knowledge of the Onbu's biology. So even though I don't plan on using it, I do think before we kind of consider the first arc of our adventures over, we should go ahead and we should have all of the rest of these important research things done. The liquefier, which will feed liquid food into the Onbu. The Onbu feeding pump enables feeding the Onbu with liquid food, restoring a large amount of hunger. Construction requires drilling into the back, which will hurt its trust in you. I don't like that. However, I think there has to be an emergency reason we would have these things, like the injector used to inject the Onbu with various substances. I have a feeling the injector might actually be correlated with, where was it? With perhaps the laboratory where you can create complex substances to use as medicine. I think that that might actually be connected. So I think our elders in the village, Elder Jack and Elder David, really want to get like the hidden knowledge of what the herbs we have been collecting could offer us going, because then that will potentially unlock a medicine that can cure this evil toxin. But I think our like religious leaders would be saying we also need to research everything about the Onbu just in case that knowledge will save us one day. Like have the feeding pump and have the injector. Maybe like just the sites put down, maybe a lot of the resources put in, but don't finish building it. Like, we'll stop everyone from building it so that we don't actually drill into our poor news back. That might be good just to have, but we're going to need more knowledge for that. Anyway, now that we have gained that from the Golden Clover Shrine, let's go ahead and send our scavenging party out. We'll just grab some sand. Like, literally, I feel like they could just lean off the side of New and gather that sand. Oh, and there's a ruined settlement that's going to be ahead. We'll have to name it after another one of you. All right. Okay, good. So how's the village doing? Now that we kind of have all of this chatting going. Oh, where are you going, Herbalist E? Carrying that bread. I'm actually quite curious about that. And let me actually put down in my notes really quickly. We went to the Golden Clover Shrine. And maybe since we talked about the Onbu biology, we'll say we learned a little. I'm writing it on my paper so I can write it in a Google document for you guys later. Learned a little about Onbu biology. And that there is much more to learn. That tantalizing hint of references to things that we may not understand now, but will one day be quite useful. Oh, and Herbalisty, thank you so much. Oh, you've been bringing the bread over to the food stand. Glory be, finally using this food stand. And speaking of this food stand, so we finally have a kitchen over here, you guys. A kitchen that I am desperately hoping will store some of these grilled tomatoes. Are these going to be like the first? These are going to be our very first grilled tomatoes. Villager Bunny! Villager Bunny is trying to make the grilled tomatoes. They're moving all the way down to the food stand. Why, Villager Bunny? Alright, alright. Are you coming to get something to eat yourself? We need to investigate this. So let's actually like wiggle, 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 wiggle. Where'd Villager Bunny go? Oh, there they are. There they are. They're on their way. They got some berry. Dang it, Villager Bunny! They got some berry muesli to eat. We are going to finally like make it so that we will have food on this side that people will stay here and get. I think we need to hire maybe another, at least one more farm, or at least one more cook over here. And then once we get the food over here, I think our farmers will finally stay over here and keep growing their tomatoes. Also, I did mention last time that one of our biggest risks, especially because this desert seems to be continuing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, okay. Where's that ruined settlement that we saw? There it is! Alright, there we go. And one expedition party out for the ruined settlement. Ooh, and there's an oasis! Okay, we'll try to snag from the oasis. It looks like we could potentially go in the mountains pretty soon. Oh, and it's time to feed New. Alright, New, let me go ahead and toss you some food now that she is all better, no more poison. But I did mention one of the things that we need to be slightly concerned over is the fact that we actually are going to be running out of water pretty soon. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. Alright, berry muesli is being made. Oh wow, we have so much corn. Alright, let's start moving the corn to like this pantry as well, because we're actually kind of like overflowing on corn. And I don't think... Yeah, the windmill is actually at a stand. So we're going to turn off the bakery right now. And I'm going to have maybe more people. Reduce workers there. I'm going to have more people possibly show up. Maybe not enough workers available. Dang it. I need more people in the kitchen to get the polenta going. But anyway, I did mention that because we are stuck in the desert, one of my concerns is that the water tanks are actually empty. Okay, that's a problem. So we're actually going to switch from corn and we're going to jump over to cactuses because I think cactuses actually provide water. I don't think we've successfully grown a cactus once or twice, but I've never really paid attention to what happens after one grows a cactus. So maybe I could find compost, Onbu, stone. Interesting. Yeah, there's nothing about... Okay, there's farming, and it tells you a little bit about farming, but that doesn't tell you anything about cactuses. Windmill, the food stand. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it tells you what it stores, but it doesn't tell you what you do. Well, the air well produces water, and water is obtained from cactuses scavenging the laboratory. What? All right, that surprised me. We're gonna say that that's a little bit of the confusing secret knowledge that we just obtained. Also, I'm going to switch from wheat with these guys because we're running out of water to cactuses for a little while because we have a lot of food and the wheat and corn that's still in the fields are still growing. So let's work on getting some water. Also, the scavenging party came back. Yay! Speaking of water, oh, no party available. I have both of them out there. Oh man, and I still can't tell if we need to continue through the Roulette Desert or if we should go to the mountain range. Also, where'd my... I think we had grilled tomatoes for all of like 2 seconds. Oh, wait, maybe... Haha! So we have one grilled tomato. Which immediately I think just got eaten by Hero Claudia. Oh my gosh. And now Mountain Climber Machu, why are you going to the pantry? Alright, we've got to watch this. Because heck or high water, friends. Oh, what's this? The excavation site. What appeared to be a quarry turned out to be an Onbu excavation site, filled with the petrified bones of a giant. Just as we were talking about needing to learn more about Onbu biology, talk about timing! This looks like a perfect spot to scavenge summer resources. We have to be careful. A dead Onbu is often a sign of spreading spores. Let's keep our distance. There are probably spores here. I think with over 200 medicine and a great doctor, we'll go ahead and take the risk because I feel like our excavation team in particular, or excuse me, our explorer team, they're willing to go in to the dangerous places if it means helping our people have success at survival. So let's do it. So we got, oh yeah, okay, yay! We got 15 stone slabs and there's a lot of deadly fungus. So 2 workers are now poisoned. I think they should be getting back now. The scavenging party has come back. 2 got poisoned. Oh, they're badly poisoned. Uh-oh. Okay, Sakura, Victoria, maybe I was a little bit ambitious with that. Where's our doctor? Our doctor's moving to the bakery because I guess everybody's coming to get some bread. Shauna, once you're done eating that, could you... Okay, Shauna's moving. They've got some medicine on them. All right, Sakura is actually getting treated. We're at 60 villagers. We're just gonna kind of keep our eyes on that and make sure that we stay at 60. All right. Yay! Okay, so 1 villager is now cured. Haha! And Explorer Victoria is now waiting for the doctor. Wait for it, wait for it. Okay, yay! Okay, so both villagers are cured. What the heck? Settlers! You encountered a group of settlers looking for a new home. Of course we're gonna pick them up! Huzzah! More people to work in my cactus fields. 1 person. Oh, that's kind of sad. Oh, I can just imagine like they were the last survivor of their people, like lost and alone inside of their ruins of their village. This is actually going to be Rachel, after one of our wonderful patrons plucked right off the Patreon name list. So Rachel, welcome. You're going to be Survivor Rachel. There we go. Why is survivor such a weird word? That is not how you spell survivor, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Yep. I was too ambitious with those eyes. Sorry, I just got a little bit distracted. There we go. Survivor. All right, Survivor Rachel. Saviviv. I kind of like Saviviv Rachel as well. Maybe she has like a really beautiful accent. All right, so she's headed over to the scavenger hut. To do what, my dear? Oh my gosh, do we have that many herbs? Oh, we just had that many stacks of herbs. All right, that's it. We need more carriers. Like, more carriers working on everything. I had a bunch of harvesters. I'm gonna switch those guys to carriers. Oh wow, we have a ton of carriers, actually. All right. General workers. Somebody just dropped a pile of stones. Uh-oh. And I looked away. And I have lost our newest villager. Oh, hey, Ida, you don't have a name either. This is actually going to be Jay, after Jay Sanderson, the next name on our Patreon name list. And I think we're just gonna go with villager J, kind of like a mystery villager. What does he work at? Workplace, oh, as a general worker. Nice. Hey, it's Alari! Our artist Alari, who does like all of our art for our Patreon postcards and like our overlays. She's currently hauling rocks. All right, how are these cactuses doing? Doesn't yield anything yet. Oh. Okay, so 1 cactus equals 1 water. I can only assume you don't need water to plant the cactus. Yeah, look at that. No, wait. Okay, so Farmer Mullet, Botanist Katie wants a better house and more food variety. So Botanist Katie is moving piles of corn. But let's keep an eye. Planting a cactus. Okay, so Dino here, who we will now name, like, Cactus Farmer, Dino. Because it's fun to keep track of what jobs people have been doing. Seem to go ahead and plant that cactus really quickly. Yes, yes. Also, I think we can get the windmill going again. And probably the bakery with like 1 person. Because we have some wheat that people are starting to move around, which is very exciting. Alright. Yeah, these guys also planting cactuses. Do we need to worry about that? Oh, go! Yes, 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 Oasis! And then somebody else to that mine. Ooh, okay. So this is interesting. Oh man, this is actually going to be a hard decision, because if we actually go down to the south, we will be able to potentially, if we rest a lot, run into this group of nomads who clearly are trying to find a new home. But it would also put us at risk for these spore clouds, and it looks like there's a lot of poison forest to the south. However, that would also put us up with the mountains so that we could start getting our water back, because we are starting to get really low on water. I think from now on I'm going to try to keep at least 1,000 water, because our village is just getting big and I'm getting worried about that. Ooh, and there's also scorching sand. Ooh, that could actually really, really hurt New, and I don't want New to be hurt. Oh man, maybe Survivor Rachel, like, who came from this ruined settlement, is desperately telling everyone, please, please go to the south and try to gather, like, the other tribe that lived in the desert with us. My siblings might be there. All right. A heartfelt plea. Kind of nervous about what we might find in the south. I think that, especially so close to, like, finishing the scouting tower, I bet the villagers and the shrine keepers and everybody, the elders are all kind of arguing and trying to figure out what's best to do. And I think what we're going to go ahead and do is go south. Yeah, and she accepts our command. So we will start going south. I think the deciding factor, even though we're worried about the spore clouds, is the fact that the scorching sands are ahead. And after watching New suffer on the sands, the villagers just really didn't want to see her get burned again. So we're going to go ahead and we will try to slow her down, maybe have her even sit for a while. We'll have to be careful, because having her sit and touch the ground allows the ground toxicity to come up easier. But who knows, maybe we'll be rewarded and we'll pop out the other side of this mountain range. Is that a little bit of fertile land? Oh, I hope so. Oh, if only we had the scout tower finished, so like the villagers and the village elders would have more clarity on what was best for their beloved Onbu. And if we're gonna leave here, then let's switch over to beets. Yeah, let's switch over to beets, which apparently need 2 water. Okay, that's gonna be... Oh, tomatoes need 3 water? Okay, that's kind of terrifying. We're gonna need to probably switch to wheat or beets. So we're gonna go for beets on this crew as well. And then hopefully we're getting to the point where people will stay down here to eat. They're going through the food so fast, we actually cannot... we cannot get people enough food over here. That's so wild. And then there's our berry gatherers working over here too. Oh my gosh, how's our mycologist? They need, like, more water, too. Alright, I think the water thing actually was pushing us to go to the south as well. Ooh, and just in time! We should be finishing the research any second now. And now we'll just have to see if we can slow down our beloved Onbu. Uh-oh, what's that? A cold snap! Oh, we were doomed on either side. Oh no, and there was another group of nomads that we've now abandoned. Oh no, because we were trying to like save people. Oh, that is such a deep sign that I think the scout tower is done, thank freaking goodness. But I think that is a deep, 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 deep sign that all of the people in the village wish they had the scout tower finished already. Also, let's go maybe research the warehouse now. We have a lot of knowledge. Maybe the tree nursery would be good. Or maybe something about our Onbu. But let's try the warehouse for a little bit right here. Because it's 4 days, but I think having the warehouse research done might really help us out with like storing more water and stuff like that. Oh, all right, and then let's celebrate finishing all of that with the scout tower, which we need the iron for. Oh my gosh, forget the warehouse. Like on to the quarry so we can get the iron furnace. Yeah, I think all of the villagers are starting to kind of like protest, and there's a little bit of fights as everyone tries to decide what is the best way forward to protect our precious Onbu as well as to protect all of our villagers. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. It's getting kind of dramatic as we're trying to figure out like what's the best way to go forward and what's the best way to try to help people and save what we have of the world. If you guys could, do please leave a like for our beloved Onbu new. And if you'd like to join us on this and literally thousands more adventures, do please consider subscribing. But most importantly, stay curious, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.